Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Why is it still playing the music in the background?
I don't know.
Okay, there it stopped. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your favorite 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live stream Project Talk. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. What do we got going on? What do we got going on? Oh, that's why
Everything's happening
that's
right
why
now.
I could still hear myself.
Echo.
Oh, is there more? Oh, there's more.
I don't understand. Are you playing YouTube in the background, Mitchell?
No.
I don't understand. Are you playing? I think we just need to just quit for the day. I don't know what's going on.
Here, let me mute. Needs to try it.
I think we just need to just quit for the day. What's going on? Okay, so let me precursor everything because we're in the middle of a really nasty storm right now, so the lights keep going on and off. Okay, so I don't understand what's going on with the audio, though.
I have no clue what's happening. It's just repeating itself.
Nasty storm right now, so the lights keep going on and off. I don't understand what's going on with the audio.
Check 1, 2, 3.
Well, we were muted. So.
Check 1, 2. Oh, okay.
See what happens now.
Check.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Well, we were muted. So. Nope, it's still looping.
Nope.
I don't know what's going on. I don't have any.
This is what we're supposed to do pre-show, right?
I said, are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. I closed all browser windows. Check.
I don't hear anything.
Hello. I hear.
Yeah.
Well, you're picking up echo coming from Mitch's side.
Oh, should I change that? Sorry.
So I'm wondering what was happening is if it was coming out of yours or coming out of us, like physically, out looping on yours, coming up looping on ours.
Back to ours, maybe.
All the power with it.
Well, we have enough battery backup that we can probably run for
Oh, I should probably check.
a couple of minutes. But yeah, if it doesn't come back on.
You think I lost power in there?
In where? Yes.
In that hole? Okay.
The whole entire neighborhood went out of power. It wasn't just us.
Oh, it wasn't just us. Oh, okay,
no.
Cool.
It's back on. It's been flickering.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's flickering.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to say you were okay.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening right now. I'm freaked out, yo.
Start over again.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the technical difficulties in today's stream. We're going to figure it out. This is fun.
Mhm.
Let's try this again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your favorite 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live stream on the East Coast. Welcome to Project Talk with Glenn and sometimes James. So as you can see, James is not with us today. Instead, we have my other brother from another mother, Mitch, taking place at James. James had some things that he had to take care of today. So we are graced with Mitch instead. And then, of course, here live in the studio, we have some shenanigans with us.
What's up?
Now, it is storming. Like, it seems to have calmed down now, but it is storming like crazy out there. So what happens is, with the metal roof on the house, it gets really loud in here. And then I can't hear Mitch, so I turned my audio up. So I think we were just like double looping back and forth. Yeah. I don't really know, but I am going to leave. I'm going to leave the browser window closed for now, just in case that's what it was. Deep breath. So let's just take a quick moment and run down the chat. We have Andy in with us. Builder Mark is here. Alan Osborne. Clint is here. Lars is here. 24/7 Hinky. Auto Drop 3D. Ollie is here. And Scott McClellan is here. And Nadeem slides in. All right. So as you can see, we have a little bit of a power failure situation going on. If the power goes out, we lose most of the lights. In fact, we'll only be illuminated by monitors at that point. And if it doesn't come back on immediately, then I'm going to shut off these two monitors. And
This will be fun.
Mark says, fixing the YouTube stream fund because we know Glenn needs it. Well, it's actually out of my hands, but Mark, I will always take your money, and I have no problem with that. So it is greatly appreciated, and of course, I will get the banner up there. Yeah, this is completely out of my control. There is nothing that I can do, and this didn't happen until like
it just started
right before we punched up live. Like I'd hit the 30-second countdown, and the power goes out.
The power went out.
So, yeah, we lose all the studio lights, and the computer does stay up. It actually, I don't know how big the battery backup. I don't think the battery backup's very big on this one. I think it's just that, like it's like a 650 back here. So, but all of the network equipment does stay online. We'll see what happens. So, Tom Elrod slipped in here as well. Paul Cumber, hello, Paul. I am discombobulated now. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure. I don't even know what we're doing.
A lot happened in 30 seconds.
Well, thanks for being here, and good night.
Yes, yeah.
So I know, and actually we can see it in the background there. I know that you've been working on a bench there, Mr. Mitch. Yeah. And like he started building that bench, and then he was like posting it to Twitter. Look at me, I bought lumber.
Oh yeah.
Look how much money I have because I went out and bought lumber.
I spent more on that workbench than I ever did in food this month. So
is that because the workbench bought you out of your food money?
Yeah. So it's just ramen noodles from now on. Just
I can have a bench or I can eat. I really could use a bench.
Sawdust will be
3 bags
a
of pizza roll.
delicacy.
Good for a month.
Pretty much, yeah. Get some MREs in the closet.
There you go.
Lumber is ridiculously expensive. So tell us about those legs. I know that was kind of a highlight, that those you buy those legs built, right? And then
you
just put about $400 worth of lumber in between it.
It wasn't that bad, but yeah, it was because I didn't do the middle shelf. If I did the middle shelf, you're pretty close to what it actually would have been. Those legs are actually like they're like fiberglass reinforced, like ABS, or they're not. I don't think they're nylon, but they're like I think it's pretty big injection mold. It's like I'm pretty impressed with it, and apparently those are made in the U.S., which is even cooler. And they have like pocket hole guides in the side at an angle so that you can screw pocket screws basically into the 2x4s and the plywood, and then the plywood's just screwed on top of it. The bottom shelf is actually just the plywood is on top of the 2x4s, so I can actually move that.
It's just a 2x4 frame around like this with plywood on the top.
Yep, and it's all held together by the 3 screws per leg, 6 screws per leg really, on each side. And that's enough to hold this into the leg. And so far, I mean, I stood on it. It works.
Cool.
So it can support my weight. It probably can support a CNC machine. And then, the only thing is I have to. I'm gonna do probably add some hardboard so that I can save money because I'm not gonna buy more plywood. But I'm gonna do hardboard on the sides just to give it kind of sideways structure, like so it doesn't wobble as much. But
you should do pegboard, and then you can hang stuff in there.
Ooh.
Yeah, I should do pegboard actually. That's about just as cheap as hardboard.
No, like same stuff. You just get extra holes.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, wood prices are ridiculous. So tell us about the piece of machinery on top of it there.
So that's a Print NC. The Print NC is a fully open source. Open sources, and they give you a Fusion 360 file that's parametric, so you can use whatever steel tubing that you have available to you, and you can choose the size that you want based on your needs. So I'm using the standard size, which is going to have a 2 foot by 3 foot work area, 4.5 inch clearance. minus the spoil board, so it's probably gonna be more like 4 inches of clearance, Z clearance. And so I'm able to find a lot of U.S. suppliers sell 2-inch by 3-inch steel tubing with an 1/8-inch wall. And it was pretty reasonable. The prices were pretty reasonable on that. So,
and that's what that is. That's 2x3 steel tubing.
Yeah, steel tubing. So that's about 100 pounds worth of steel on that table right now.
I was going to say that's pretty durable. Now, would there be a benefit to using aluminum over steel, or a benefit to steel over aluminum?
Aluminum's too flexible. All the rigidity on that machine is because of that steel tube.
Interesting.
It actually. And then those steel tubes you mount from AliExpress, they actually sell a kit. And the kit comes with, I think, MGN 15, a linear rail. It comes with 1610 ball screws, which is 16 millimeter diameter ball screw. And the linear rails in cars mount directly to the steel, and each part of the steel mounts to itself. So everything is mounted to the steel directly. And then there's 3D printed parts that you actually insert into certain places to hold, like the ball screw nut and parts of the Z-axis and stuff. But the Z-axis itself, you can actually start with a hand cut wooden plate for your Z-axis, and then you build it to get it working long enough to make an aluminum Z-axis plate. So you can make your own Z-axis plate out of aluminum because it's that rigid. And then once you machine your own aluminum plate, then you machine all the parts out of aluminum and basically replace all the 3D printed parts.
Interesting.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. So this is like a printed guide. This is a center finder. So the first thing you have to do is find the exact radius of your steel so that this will self-center on the rail. And then you can mark the center line of your steel, and that's where you're going to put your. They have tools to help you assemble the linear rails so that they're perfectly parallel with each other. That's all using cool. 3D printed parts as the guide. So what I'm printing now on my my Delta printer with Greengate 3D's Purple Rain, which is like beautiful.
No sponsor.
Yeah. No, This is I think my first Greengate like product. And
no, I'm just picking. I like the folks over at Greengate. I'm just picking.
That's why I'm plugging him, because this. So I'm always looking for purple filament because I decided purple is my color. And so this is a really beautiful purple because it has like a purple blue shimmer depending on the lighting, and it looks really cool. Yeah. Yeah. I've talked to them on Twitter as well, so like they're really friendly.
Yeah, the barber sent me this note. A little Greengate 3D love for you.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, they're a great company.
I remember
meeting them at Murph or IRF.
You build the machine, you replace all the 3D parts with aluminum, then you mount a plasma torch on it, and you cut all the aluminum parts out of steel.
Yeah.
And then you weld that thing together, and then you could drive over it with a truck.
Well, there are videos online of this machine, a similar machine, maybe this machine, maybe with some stepper upgrades, but it's actually, they're actually able to do mild steel and stainless with it.
Like as a actual CNC machine, like running a spindle.
They're showing it boring holes in a plate or pocketing holes in a plate.
Wow,
Wait, with a router?
It's a 2.2 kilowatt spindle, so it's pretty heavy duty. It's not a standard like trim router. It's an actual. It's like a 3 horsepower spindle.
And then I have to ask, how much to build that thing? Is this not information that you want to?
No. Okay, let's just go through it. So the AliExpress kit is the basic kit that comes with everything, including stepper drivers. It comes with the linear rail, the ball screws, the couplers, the stepper motors, the stepper drivers. It comes with a spindle, the VFD, a basic breakout board. So it's actually a parallel port breakout board that you have to get a parallel port computer. Which I got. I actually got that computer from Chris Riley. We traded online, and it's actually an old Dell Optiplex 780 that has a parallel port on it, but it's a dual core. A Core 2 Duo with 8 gigs of RAM, so it's like plenty of power. And it's running Linux CNC. So actually, when Linux CNC depending on your setup, you can actually you directly output the pulses to the stepper motor through a parallel port on the on the computer, but you have to have a certain amount of latency on the kernel side. So you have to optimize a bunch. You have to turn off a bunch of stuff to optimize it to get fast enough timing through the parallel port to actually run the stepper motors. So I bought a FPGA card. It's called a Mesa card, and it has all the breakout pins, and it uses Ethernet to communicate. So it's actually handling all the timing of the stepper motors and all the inputs. I was gonna use a Duet, but apparently, like RepRap firmware isn't quite like there. Like Linux CNC gives you a lot more options. I think more CNC based options, and it's more mature than like RepRap firmware. And then a lot of people are using Gerbil GRBL controllers, which use a Teensy 4.1, and they're using that. So it pretty much bring your own controller. But to get started, you can start with an old parallel port computer and a $10 breakout board and control your stuff from that. So total price. So the AliExpress kit was, I think, $1,200 shipped from China. Okay. It arrived in like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and it was kind of shoddily packaged, but I mean, it survived the transport. But like they shoved all this stuff in these 2 boxes, and then all the linear rails were in this like taped up bubble wrapped box, and then I think I put another almost $300 in the workbench because of wood. The steel was $190, almost $200. I had to have a friend like transport it for me because they were only open office hours. Then I took all that steel, put it in my bathroom because I didn't have any place to put it because it was all greasy. That photo, and then I took all that, took it back to the makerspace. Now I had to cut it all perfectly square and down to the millimeter. And then I took all that, I gave it to a friend of mine who does powder coating. I've used him before, but him and his son have a shop in Dallas, and they actually sandblasted and powder coated all that steel for me. Nice. There's 150, then we have electronics, and they're 120. Basically, I'm probably going to be probably under. I think when everything's said and done, I build an enclosure and everything, I'm still going to be about $2,500 in.
That isn't bad. And what is the capability of them? I mean, you said that some of them are cutting steel, but I mean, it's pretty much going to cut whatever you throw at it. Yeah.
It's all about tooling, feeds, and speeds. The actual limitation is the spindle RPM and torque. So like for cutting steel, you don't really want to cut steel at like 12,000 RPM. So that's why this can go, I think, down to 6,000. It depends on the VFD and the overall power rating and all that stuff. I don't quite know. I just know that like the tooling and how aggressive you are with that tool determines how fast you can cut and how much you can cut. I'm not going to probably do carbon. I'll do probably carbon fiber would be easy. You just have to worry about the dust. A lot of stuff I want to cut is like UHMW or Delrin because it cuts really nicely, and it's really useful for a lot of stuff. Most people just cut aluminum plate, so like you can cut like 1 inch, 2 inch plate, and then probably do like a 3 millimeter depth of cut or 6 millimeter depth of cut at like 100 inches per or whatever that. Sorry, metric and inches, and they're both using them for machining. So whatever that would be like 3,000 millimeters per minute or something like that, or faster than that.
That's pretty cool.
It's a lot of learning experience because I've worked on commercial CNC machines, and it's different when you're building your own because you're like, wow, I can't just like get like expensive German, Italian parts. Like I'm dealing with stuff that was.
You just have to be willing to.
Yeah, exactly. There's a tool changer, automatic tool changer that some people are buying from AliExpress. That's like the spindle's like $800, and basically you can have an automatic tool changing CNC machine with the spindle. Wow. So you still have to have the tool holders mounted, the tool cradle, so you can hold the tools. And then I think there's just enough room in the back that you could probably have a deck that like slides in, and then the tool comes and picks it up, and then slides back in, and then it can do whatever. But a lot of people just do it manual tool changes with a tool setter. So a tool setter, you set your height of your tool on the top of the surface, and then it machines your part. Then it goes over to a park location. You change your tool manually, put it in. It goes over. It touches off on a fixed block because it's all conductive through the spindle, and then it goes back, and it's able to compensate for the depth of the tool. So it's pretty neat. I mean, it's like, to me, it was like comparing this. The closest thing I can compare this to is like buying a Carbide 3D Shapeoko XL Pro, which is their new one that has linear rails. But this is instead of being belt driven and out of aluminum, this is steel and uses ball screws. So, and it's basically about the same price.
Awesome. And you got to build it yourself, which means you know every nut, bolt, and screw in there. So if something goes wrong, you've got it.
And I'm building in an apartment, which adds even more complications.
Well, and that was good. Andy just asked what I got to pull the other chat up about the noise level. What are the noise levels like?
I don't know yet. I'll find out when I get noise complaints.
It's so quiet right now.
I can't even
quiet. Like,
running.
Well, I just bought a Cisco power supply. It's that big black thing on the table, and I just plugged it in. I just got the cable for it, and that provides 42 volts at like 20 amps. So it's a 1,300 watt power supply from a server. And I'm running it off of 110, so my lights dim when I plug it in. So that's one of the concerns is actually how am I going to get enough power for this thing? So I'm already looking at running a dryer cord for my my oven, putting a 4-prong 220 from my oven, and running an extension cord to my room so I could run this thing. The noise. Well, the biggest thing, the spindle's quiet. It's because it's a water-cooled spindle, so there's no fan. The problem is you're going to hear the aluminum, milling sound, which is like,
you're gonna have that chatter.
and so I have sound deadening foam on tiles down there, and those are going to go against the shared wall back there.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mitch, when you go and price out the wire to make that extension cord for your oven, you'll probably just decide to buy a new house instead.
That's been considered, yes. I have considered either renting a house because you can't buy houses in Dallas anymore.
Well, copper is the new gold, so
they bought all the houses in Dallas.
Yeah, pretty much all the Californians. I mean, the real estate is pretty bad right now, but I have looked at rental studios, like places where you can rent out a studio space or workshop space, but it's real limited. I thought there would be more spaces like that, like co-working spaces. You can rent out a desk and have a fax machine and whatever, and people work, but they're always quiet. Like they don't have any places really like where you can rent a
desk and you can have a what?
A fax machine or whatever people do with it.
What is
I don't know.
Fax machine?
It's how you used to email back in the day.
Is that a new kind of 3D printer?
I think so. I don't know. What does it do?
Hey, remember AIO Robotics? They had the fax machine 3D printer. It was like it had a scanner and a 3D printer, and they could send files to each other, or supposedly.
I remember trying to make a 3D printer out of hardware.
Yeah.
Like reading an instruction, I'm like, okay, I just destroyed 8 hard drives. What?
Yeah. Well, you can make the CD-ROM version of that, like the ones that are like this small and it has a little CD-ROM drive.
Yeah.
Carriage,
trying to push it out.
Yeah, we never got to that point where we had 3D fax machines. Like we have 3D printers and we can send each other STL files.
That's because a regular fax machine to send a page took like 10 years. I can't imagine what it would take to actually send a file.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then if I got your phone number, I would just send you like a solid cube with 100% infill, and you couldn't cancel it.
Oh, the terrible things that you could send.
Oh my gosh!
I
would just be scanning my butt.
Kind of like you tap into the neighbor's wireless printer and you just randomly print photos too.
Yeah. I think what's funny is the actual hardest part of that is the 3D scanning technology. Like 3D scanning is so much harder than 3D printing. That's probably why we haven't had one yet. Is because the scans look like garbage when you scan stuff.
Yeah, there's so much manual work that you have to do to the file to clean it up afterwards.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I've seen these people in like Italy fly these drones like through little crevasses and whatever, and they're scanning with the drones and then they bring it into Sketchfab or something, some Autodesk program, and then it just goes, and then you're in this 3D environment, and I'm like, how do you do it
That's
like
awesome.
that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Like the drone,
I think it's a little
had to be-
harder
like, it
than
wasn't
that,
like a
'cause-
DJI drone.
Yeah.
There's a drone with all these like cameras all over it, and so
Yeah,
it
there's
was, like,
there's a
taking
guy
images.
there's a guy at our makerspace that just LiDAR scanned the entire makerspace. So it's like a point cloud of the entire makerspace, and interior and exterior is all point cloud of LiDAR scanned. Like, and it's really cool because you can recognize objects, but there's complications with it. Obviously, a point cloud, you got to turn into a mesh, a solid mesh, to be able to 3D print it, and you got to remove all the noise from other stuff. So it's just like any 3D scanning. I imagine they're using similar technology where they have an IR LiDAR scanner or something. I mean, even the iPhone, I've seen the iPhone 12s, you can basically just like scan in like 5 seconds and have a pretty decent point cloud mesh. So I think we're getting there with 3D scanning, but it's garbage in, garbage out. You're gonna get environmental stuff that's not clean, so it's gonna be a really messy file. But yeah,
Well,
I'll stick to CAD modeling.
We're being visited by the official account of Marlin Firmware.
Oh, hey Marlon, Mr. Firmware.
Good Sunday, everyone. Looks like release day may be upon us once again.
Oh, he's so right. I released this morning and it was fantastic.
Was that 2.0 or 1.0?
It was 2.0.
Oh, okay.
if you're asking,
Yeah, if you really want to know,
you really want to know, it was a 2.0, but we're working on a 2.5 here soon.
2.5. Okay.
We can do better.
Yeah,
would it be
it's a release candidate 6.
We're gonna be passed out.
So anyway, there's John Mack sliding in too. Hello, John.
Hey, John.
Hey, John. Speaking of John, he does really good embroidery stuff, by the way.
Yeah, he does great.
Letting everybody know.
Hey, look, now Scott joined us. So we have Scott and the official Marlin.
Wow.
3.8.6.
Yeah.
3.8.6. Yeah.
Is Murph
I
this
think you have to
weekend?
call the ambulance.
I think Murph is next weekend, right?
20th, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely coming
It's
up.
real quick.
Yeah.
It's coming up real fast.
That'd be nice. I just don't think I'm going to go.
Yeah, the 20th would be next weekend.
I'm not.
That's Father's Day weekend, isn't it?
That is Father's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Oof.
That is Father's Day. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not flying to Chicago in the week.
Well,
so.
Uncle Ron was trying to convince me to fly to New York and then ride with him over from New York to.
That's a long
York,
trip.
But I just don't know if I'm ready to rejoin society yet.
I don't even
I'll
think
do Earth maybe. If Earth does it and it was like well planned, I think we could do it.
Yeah, I think Earth is far enough out.
If you get more than a week's notice, then yeah.
Yeah. I went to Scarborough Fair and I was like, that was my first time around big crowds, and I'm like, yeah, now I know I like virtual meetings.
It feels weird now, doesn't it?
It does feel weird, yeah. It wasn't too bad.
Even if you go into a store or a restaurant, it's overly crowded. And by overly crowded, I don't mean like what it used to be, just like overly crowded for today's time. It just feels. It just feels. Thinky Head Software has also joined us. How many accounts you got there, Scott?
Are we gonna find Scott's OnlyFans page?
God, I hope so.
But I don't have any money.
I ain't got any money.
John Mack said he already got a hotel, so if it's canceled, he's going to Rev Museum. What is
RV?
RV. The RV Museum.
Stream,
Yeah. You used to be able to tour all the RV.
Oh, because Goshen is Leonel, whatever that one. It's not Goshen. It's where CMCNC is. It's apparently like the capital of like RV manufacture.
That's
Elkhart.
That's an Elkhart.
Yeah, Elkhart, probably.
Yeah, there's also a superhero museum somewhere really close to Goshen.
Really?
We haven't made it over there because we're always busy with Murph, but
Yeah.
auto incorrect.
It would be nice to go as not an exhibit again, just as a visitor.
Yeah, I definitely this year, even if I had gone to Murph, I was not going to exhibit.
Yeah.
And if I go to Earth this year, which it is my plan to go, I'm not going to exhibit. I want to just hang out with people.
Yeah, I don't even want to bring my backpack printer anymore because just getting it over
The
there.
good old
unless I
days
ship
are
it.
over.
Yeah, and I've
I
actually
think
been using that printer. I've been using that printer pretty much for work. Like, it's been a great printer.
Tired of the chiropractic bills.
Yeah. Now I'll have next time. It will be something that I can actually cart around with a cart. Maybe I like mobile exhibits, but yeah,
Well, I mean, the thing is, there's so much. There's so many printers out now that are like tiny. Like I've got this little guy right here.
Is this a new one? Oh, that's cute. What is that?
I have to remember which one this is. I can't remember if this
It doesn't even know what it is.
I like that it has a
label
guard
it.
for like kids to not put their finger in the nozzle or something. I don't.
This might be the Tina. I have two small printers.
Is that one of
I
those
think
things where
that's
they
the
like
Tina
they
too.
message you on Facebook? They're like, "Hey, are you a YouTube channel? Do you want a printer?" And then like, sure.
That might be the Tina too. I'm thinking if I take my my hard hat from work and I strap this to the hard hat,
Yeah.
and then I just like
Well,
Just
James
walk
and
around
I
with
were talking about doing that, but like with those 28 BY motors, those little tiny steppers, just to make like a really small. Because anything above like anything over like 1 kilogram is pretty hard to have on your head.
absolutely.
Just your shoulders and stuff. So
Well, plus you would have to then strap the helmet to your head.
yeah, and you'd like
It would just
you could do a resin printer, so you just have to always balance your head so that you don't pour the
Until
resin.
the
out.
resin drips into your
Yeah.
eyes.
yeah, that seems like a great idea.
Yeah.
Red
wear
light
safety
Mike
glasses.
sliding in. Hello, Mike.
Oh, red light, green light,
Red light.
green light.
Nice.
I'm actually have to get a table since that's the only ticket left.
Oh, is it? They still looking for exhibitors? That's weird.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of exhibitors are going this year.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be spread out, right? They because I remember they were talking last 2019. They were talking about doing like 4 of the buildings or something, like spreading out through the fairgrounds.
Yeah, but you still have a large crowd of people breathing on each other. I mean, like normally,
Yeah.
let's go back before the pandemic.
Yeah,
Every
no,
time
it was.
you'd come home, you were sick.
You were sick.
crud.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, why would you risk it? I mean, I'm fully vaccinated now.
Yeah.
I'm super vaxxed.
But,
But,
yeah, it's just
but
not
I
everybody's
still don't
going
wanna be in
to
crowds of
be
people.
vaccinated by then. So, and I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of tough. BattleBots may or may not happen this year. I can't tell you anything, but
You can't tell us because you don't know, or you can't tell us because you're not allowed.
I can't tell us because Discovery hasn't announced anything yet.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
Yeah,
But
NDAs.
yeah, let's just say I hope BattleBots comes back, and I hope I'm on TV again, and I get to work with my team because they're pretty cool.
Yeah, because I like to watch and go, I know that guy.
Yeah.
I want to see you guys
Yeah,
put
me
name
too.
on.
And actually, I went to a wedding yesterday with a friend of mine from the Makerspace and his team with Rev Robotics, and they're building a BattleBot team as well. Scotty from Strange Parts is actually on their team. If you watch YouTube, it's Scotty or Scott from Strange Parts. Yeah, he's on their team. So
Strange farts?
Strange
I have that problem.
Strange Parts.
Some
Is
of
it
my
Strange
farts are
Parts?
just, like crazy strange.
that leads to the 2.0 upgrade.
He's the guy who like builds iPhones. Like when he was in China, he would build an iPhone from clones and stuff. And he's like, I don't know. Anyway, he's gonna be on there. So yeah, they're starting a team as well. So like 2 Dallas based teams are going to be us and them are both be
2 Dallas-based teams head to
BattleBots.
toe to toe.
The one thing I can tell you is that Robot Ruckus is going to be at Orlando Maker Faire this year.
Right, which I'm super
going to
excited
that.
that they announced that it is on. So
I hope we can make that because that would be really fun. I would drive out for that or fly out for that, even if we didn't show up.
Yeah, well, we won't fly out. We'll drive out for that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I want to fly. I want to get on one of those little crap planes.
Do you want to take the private helicopter?
Oh, yeah, I'll take the private helicopter.
Okay.
Wait, you guys don't live in Orlando? I thought you did.
No, we're about 90 minutes north of there.
Oh. Okay.
So, but I mean, we have the Fun King chopper. We can just,
Oh, that's right. Don't you have a party bus or something? Like
no, but I'm gonna buy one now.
like an old 1970s Chevy van that had the engine what was those? The ones in the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine.
Dude, I'd love to have one of those.
Those old Chevys that from the 70s.
Oh, absolutely.
But you got to paint it like bright yellow, and then have your logo on the side of it.
Like the Jurassic Park.
I totally was on board for buying. I was going to buy an ambulance, a retired ambulance.
That would be fun.
And paint it up black and yellow. Take all the red flashing lights off of it and have yellow flashing lights on it.
Yeah.
But there was 2 problems with that. One, I don't have the funding for that, and which is always the main problem that I have.
Yeah.
But the other problem was as far as taking it with the family to go to Murph and stuff, it would suck for whoever had to ride in the back because there's no windows.
Yeah. Oh no!
Yeah.
You have to have jump seats back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's. I never thought about that, but
I thought about getting an ambulance and taking the back off of it and putting it on the back of my truck instead of my truck bed so that I still have my truck cab. Yes. But I couldn't afford to drive my truck to Murph because of the fuel mileage. But
yeah. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do the Murph. Earth maybe, because how far is Earth? Oh, that's pretty far too.
They're both about the same distance.
Same, yeah. Same from Texas too. Well, Texas is not worth going to the East Coast driving. That's
not
insane.
worth driving to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Well, I drove because of bringing the FK1.
Oh, that's right.
They won't let me bring it on an airplane.
That's true.
Yeah.
And it's definitely cheaper to drive than it is to ship that thing. So, but
the backpack printer is getting there. That's why I kind of last Earth, I had to pay for the oversized luggage, and that was so
it's like buying a whole
painful.
other airplane seat.
I know. It was pretty bad. I was like, So next time, I think I would break it down into parts and or just ship it. I would essentially just ship it to Printed Solid and see if David could hold it for me, and then I'll go pick it up or something. I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking. Gives you a good excuse to go to Printed Solid.
Yeah. Well, I'd go there, hang out there any day if I was close. They're so cool.
So Andy said, if they do BattleBots this year, can you please ask them to show it over in the UK? I don't think Mitch has that kind of pull.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few people that are petitioning for that, and I don't even think even BattleBots has any control over what Discovery does.
No, absolutely not. Yeah,
and it's such a popular show. I don't see why they wouldn't. And the other thing too is.
I'm not sure that Discovery has any pull over what Discovery does.
I don't think not anymore.
Yeah, no, probably not.
Discovery now.
But I think if you use a VPN and get Discovery Plus, I don't see how that would stop you. Discovery Plus is probably a better way to go anyway than watching it on cable and then just use a VPN, assuming they don't block your VPN. I don't know. I say that, but I've tried to watch Hulu and Netflix stuff with my VPN, and they always just restrict it. So I don't know how they sell VPNs to get around.
Yeah, I think they've caught on to that. So
yeah.
But I don't know how
you can do. Slingbox, isn't it? Slingbox. They make a unit that you put on your TV, and then you can sling your own TV anywhere you want.
Oh, I don't know.
So you got to get a friend
cool,
that lives in the UK or in the United States to put the Slingbox and have it sling it over to you wherever you are.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it, so please don't ask.
But I just don't know how TVs have restrictions for regions, because now that you can stream everything online, I don't know why you would want to limit what your commercialization would go to. Like, have somebody pay like £8 or whatever to get on Discovery Plus versus our $8. Like, I don't see how they wouldn't want to take your money if you're paying for a TV show.
Right? Yeah, to buy an online service, absolutely.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I want everybody to see BattleBots. I think it's pretty awesome. And plus, we have, and that's not just me and my team. It's like everybody is really cool in the community, and like if you are on Facebook and stuff, I'm kind of Facebook friends with everybody. And if you're into the sport, everybody's pretty friendly.
And then if you ever get a chance to see it live,
oh yeah,
I mean, like I've been to Robot Ruckus with Orlando Maker Faire, and it's. I mean, watching it on TV is cool because you get all the camera angles and stuff, but you don't get the full effect of that thing slamming into the side of the arena.
I'd recommend everybody just go to Robot Ruckus because it's close to BattleBots as you're going to get.
Yeah, everybody come in November to Orlando.
Make sure you're really close to each other, breathing on each other. And then,
on Saturday night, we have Farts, which is the Florida Area Rep talking supper.
I didn't know about that. That's cool.
We go out to eat together, and it's fun.
And it's fun.
It's fun. Yeah, we go to the Golden Corral for farts, and we leave with the poops.
Yep, that'll give you bubble guts real quick.
Do they still have the chocolate fountain? Golden Corral.
I have not been to a Golden Corral in fact, probably the last time I was there was the last farts, just because of the pandemic. Now the one that we have locally that way, has been open, and every time I've driven by there, it's been crazy busy. So I don't know how they're handling it, but we'll think about the area we're in.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Texas is like that too. Now they're just like everything's open, free game. Just crowd around because everybody's been waiting a year to eat at a restaurant for some reason. It's like cool. Then you just realize how I don't know. Bad restaurants are, and yeah. It's like, man, I just want to like eat here. That's why I don't know. I've probably single-handedly funded a Taco Bell franchise at least.
Well, I mean, we've done so well without eating out over this whole pandemic situation, and then 2 weeks ago, last week I was down with a migraine, but 2 weeks ago we had gone to Chili's. But I just couldn't believe how expensive it was.
It's expensive. It's slow.
It's not like I didn't remember how expensive it was because I've eaten at Chili's a lot.
Oh yeah, I like Chili's.
It was more expensive. It was definitely more expensive, and that's ridiculous.
It's because they ran out of sawdust to put in their food because the sawdust got expensive.
Marcus said Golden Corrals are all closed in Cincinnati.
Oh yeah. Good old Golden Colon.
Well, ever since they shut down WKRP, Cincinnati's never been the same. How's that for an old throwback?
Oh my gosh!
Woo! I totally thought turkeys could fly. So, nothing like having a good time.
Oh man!
Here on Project Talk.
So
I guess James is completely just driving and can't join us, but
he probably should pay attention to that.
The moose in the road.
Yeah, the meese.
The meese.
Plural for moose.
Even their moose have flappy heads and beady eyes. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
I promised myself I wouldn't make fun of Canadians on this show. Yeah.
I make fun of Canadians because I love Canadians.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I find myself like a lot of the YouTube channels that I watch, car-based. Speaking of the devil. So
hello.
How are you?
How are you, brother?
Not so bad, and you?
So
it's ridiculous.
We weren't talking about anything at all. No.
Oh, too many people talking at once. You have to raise your hand to talk. You're not moving, so that's good. But I find that a lot of the car channels that I watch, they're actually Canadian. They're out of Canada, and it's like they're the ones that I enjoy the most. So I like the things that they say. Like, better get at it. Just being
I
Canadian.
can barely hear
people
anything
make
you guys
fun
are
of
saying, and I
themselves.
can't tell if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can hear you.
You can't hear
Well,
us?
Like, it's a mumble. I don't know what's up with that.
Well, it's because I'm mumbling.
Mumbly Joe.
Do I have to hold this up?
I mean, I can hear you just enough to be able to tell what you're saying, as long as I'm not.
What are you doing?
And I tried to turn Bluetooth on, it's not working. So
I don't have a pen and paper, so I'm just gonna use sign language or something.
There you go.
Oh. Well, at least we got to see his face.
I know.
Yeah. I've had this note on my desk for a couple of years now, because James used to come to our streams when we were doing Fun in the Country Basement, and he'd be like, he'd come into the chat and he'd be like, I don't have audio, I'm just reading the chat. So I would hold that up so he could see it, and it's just, I'm a pack rat. I don't throw things away.
Man, I forgot about that. It was, forgot his name, and Chris Riley. Walter and Chris Riley was like, that was the show before this show. I remember
That's correct. Yeah. It started with the three of us, and then Chris Riley got tired of us riding his coattails and told us to bugger off. And how many times have I said his name now? Chris Riley. All right, that's definitely three, so he might show up next.
Oh no!
I've already said his name a couple times, I think, too. So
You blinded me with that disc.
Oh, did I?
You're right in my eye.
That was the beta show before the main event.
yeah, the beta show, the alpha.
Yep.
Oh, we got some
Very
kind of weird loop. James, did you catch the very beginning of the show?
I didn't catch much. I just tuned in.
Okay, so when this is all over with and it uploads, you have to go watch like the first 30 seconds. It was the biggest train wreck we have ever had.
I mean, we started here, and then it was whoa,
Some bad luck.
straight off the bridge.
Lost power, had a horrible audio loop. It was just, whew. It was good stuff.
So what you're saying
James
is things
is
fall
the
apart when I'm
After
not
the
here.
Bitcoin climb and then decline.
Had to bring that up, didn't
I'm
you?
sorry.
God, yeah. I have to go cry in the corner now for a minute.
Use the happy tissues, not the sad tissues.
I'm so tired. I have to say this now because you brought it up. I'm so tired of a guy with $400 billion screwing with my little bit of money that I have. I just want to make that publicly known. Oh.
Hey, Glenn, I have good news for you. Would you like some good news? They're doing a new spin-off of Letterkenny called Shoresy.
Are they really?
Is it just
They
about
are.
Shoresy?
It's just about Shoresy and his hockey team.
And of course, the one quote I want to make with Shoresy, I can't say on this
I
channel.
don't think you can make any quotes with Shoresy. Lie.
Frick you, Glenn.
Yeah, James, I need you to record Little Kenny onto VHS and mail it to me, please.
Yes. Yes.
I'm
You have
sorry,
to
I only have a
fax
beta.
him.
I've got a Betamax recorder. Does that help?
No, I only have VHS.
I have a Laserdisc player. Can you do Laserdisc?
I don't think anybody can do Laserdisc.
All he said, it
somebody can.
all he said, it went downhill immediately without James.
It's probably
I'm
true.
the glue holding this whole train wreck together.
That's right.
It's true.
You're the pin in the pintle hitch. So
What's Mitch printing?
You're the olive to my loaf.
I intentionally worded everything for this week's stream to make it sound like Mitch was replacing James permanently.
Oh,
But
okay.
obviously that's
I
not.
assumed that's actually what was happening.
No,
I came to say goodbye to everyone.
I would give you at least a 30-second warning before I did that to you.
I had have to grow a beard and put the glasses back on, and then say.
And really, that conversation would
Project
go more
anymore.
like, did we lose Mitch?
I think we lost Mitch.
Uh-oh. Am I there?
Still there.
Oh,
Hey.
you're back. You froze.
The
up.
internet
Yeah.
didn't like what you were saying.
No, apparently not.
It was
It's
like,
cut-
"Look at
it's
the
cutting
bearded
in and out,
glasses."
so-
Nope.
Yeah, it's cutting in and out. I don't know. So
Yeah, no,
hopefully I
that
don't get lost.
conversation would go more along the lines of Mitch, James, there's something that I need you guys to know. I'm out.
Yeah. I don't know. Me and James could do a pretty
It's
good
like,
show.
it's been fun. You guys have a good.
See, there you go.
See, the problem is he always comes back.
Yeah. Oh.
Empty promises.
I mean, it was such a quiet show after that 2 seconds.
Like when you got a rattle in your car and you think you fixed it and it's quiet for like 2 or 3 seconds and then it comes back.
That's a Canadian insult right there.
Oh man.
Well, who would tune into a live stream show where there wasn't any sound? I mean,
That's true.
like nobody's gonna tune in and just
Deaf
watch us
people?
like sit here.
Maybe. Okay.
Right now, everybody's at
Our
home banging their
viewership went
monitors.
like from
Glenn, stop
10 to
talking.
0.
Oh.
Hey, 23 viewers. I think we're pretty good right now.
Hi, 23 people.
Hi, 23 people of like what, 10 or 12 are in the chat.
Only 4 of you talking.
So that means we have good engagement.
It's so many people. Well, there's a lot of people that come and watch these streams, but they like just choose not to say anything, which I can understand.
Yeah, it's good
Yeah.
background noise.
It's all right. But you know, like I always.
Let's
hope to
face
know
it,
who's
10
out
of the
there.
people are actually just Glenn.
Yeah, it's all just me.
Glenn
He
through every
just-
computer is how you get into it.
He
It's
spins
all
up a bunch of
Scott from
virtual
Ireland.
machines.
Scott, it is all Scott. He's got 80 accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like to know who's in the background. So what I do is I just like I'll randomly throw an insult on somebody who I think might be there.
Guys, I gotta check
David.
out. I'm sorry.
Bye,
gotta check out.
James.
Love you, brother.
Nice to see you.
Bye.
We'll be back next week full time. Promise, maybe. I don't know.
All right.
That's
guys
fine.
do
I'm your understudy, so
Watch out for the mooses.
the meese.
Oh, thanks.
The
Oh, and
moose.
Sean, one more thing. I need you to remember that.
I knew that was coming.
Oh.
See, that works so much better when you're on the computer because he had to look down to see where he was.
I
touching,
know. I figured that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
There's something that you need to know, and it's super important. Whatever you do, don't push the.
I need to know the end of this.
Oh my gosh! You know we've only been going for an hour.
I know.
I'm exhausted. What do you people do to me?
I don't know. I'm going to have to leave soon.
Andy makes a really good point. There's 24 people watching and only 8 likes. I can't confirm that because I don't want to open another browser window and recause the loop. But
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna like my own video. So there you go. Now
Like-
we have 9.
oh, I already liked it. I liked it right when it started, and it hadn't even started. I knew it was going to be good, so I liked it for the future. I'm a future liker.
Future liker.
If I change my mind later, I can always unlike it. But Ugh. This cough. I hate this cough so much.
I know.
Wow.
It's horrible.
You
wanna
just get
put
it.
They want to put a scope in my throat to see
Oh,
if they can
really?
figure out what's
That's
causing
pretty
it.
awesome, actually.
I'm like,
That's- yeah. You get the video?
Yeah. I went to-
That'll be cool.
You said that's your background next week. That'd be weird.
With the green screen.
put
Yeah.
the 30-second countdown over the top of that.
Yeah.
Like, we're in Glenn's throat.
Oh, there's no telling what you'd see down in there. Oh, he had a cheeseburger.
We found Atlantis.
They found Atlantis. That's where the puddle jumper was stuck.
Yeah.
Mitch, Paul would like to know how long that print that you're doing is going on for.
13 hours.
Oh, that's not too bad.
That's what Simplify 3D says. It's a couple of the assembly tools. So this is like the center tool.
Mhm.
It finds the center of a 2-inch with the radius. And then these are
And
He's
he's
frozen.
gone.
the X gantry, the roller, angle roller, and lefts. So there's like a bunch of points where the linear bearings have 4 bolts, M6 bolts that you have to drill and tap into the steel. So it kind of gives you a center hole guide. so you can punch the holes and then drill and tap them.
You should just drill and tap those holes using a CNC machine.
I should. So there's two ways to do that. There's you could do it with the thread mill, one of those threading tools. It's like it looks like a lathe like point, but you can actually the machine will actually do a spiral down and actually create the that. Or you can get a tapping spindle head that's essentially like a spring loaded spindle head, but you have to time the z-axis and your rotation at the same time.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, I'm gonna hand tap all these. I don't trust taps at all, but I don't trust taps with power tools.
Why?
So
There's nothing more fun than breaking a tap off inside of steel and then having to drill it out.
There's a joke on the Discord for this the Print and See Discord that that nobody has ever built one of these without enlarging a hole. So, yeah, I have actually. So I bought like a really nice metric tap and drill set. So
that seems like a challenge because if I did that, if I broke it off in there, I would drill it out and then I would just fill the hole with weld, grind it smooth, and re-drill the hole.
Yeah, that sounds like a pain, but yeah,
a little bondo.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of the holes, like the frame parts. You have 4 bolts per junction, so you have like this bar, and then you have 4 bolts, M6 bolts that are holding them together, and that's how the whole frame is basically mounted on the bottom, the y-axis rails, and then the x-axis rail just rests on these. They're called rollers. They're essentially little pieces of tube that have the ball bearings on the bottom, or linear bearings on the bottom. The ball screw goes through the tubing, and then on the top is actually where the gantry goes. It's pretty cool. You actually get like the Fusion 360 model, like it has every nut and bolt and stuff like that. So you can actually explore the model and see exactly where everything goes. And then the Fusion 360 file actually generates the STL files for the assembly tools. So it's all parametric to whatever your size steel and whatever size part you're making. So they have a Python script that runs and generates the STL files automatically, so you don't have to go through each body and save it as an STL. It'll actually just generate the whole list and label it. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really well done, and a lot of people have certain little mods and stuff like the cable chain. You can mount the cable chain however you like, and you can mount the end stops usually in different ways. And so some people actually mount vices to theirs. The one guy I know that's like local to me, I visited his place. He has it in his garage, and I watched him run it for a couple hours. And he has a vise on the side, so now you can mount like a block of aluminum and machine parts for it.
It's an interesting concept to put a CNC machine in the garage. I mean, I would normally just put it behind me in my apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust me, if I had a garage, I don't think I'd ever leave.
My truck.
Yeah. Well, if you have another spot in your giant Florida garage.
Careful what you say. Because if you offer to bring that thing to my garage, man, game on. You just bring it on down. I'll find room for it.
Well, then you have to have a room for me to stay there because I probably live there.
You can cuddle with me.
I'll figure that out.
We'll bunk beds like stepbrothers.
We can do that.
Did we just become best friends?
There's a lot of room for karate.
We'll both have drum sets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, I considered that too. I was like, I still have a little bit of room over there by that door to have a drum set. So, it's funny. I still want to use my VR setup, so I still have this floor space available for VR, but I'm running out of room. And then I have a workbench on this side, so I only have like maybe 4 feet or 5 feet of actual space in this area.
Karen said you can always mount it vertically on the wall.
I thought about that. Like, if I was going to do that, I might as well have like a Maslow CNC like mounted, on that side of the wall.
Yeah, get with Uncle Ron. I think he bought one of those and never built it.
Yeah, I know John Mack, I think, has one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he was working on one, but again, everybody has a garage. That's
not
like
everyone.
A garage? Like just one?
Hey, garage.
One garage,
I was
yeah.
gonna say, yeah.
Some of
Most
us have
people have
two.
multiples.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it I'm actually doing at the makerspace. So a lot of I'm not going to probably drill and tap those holes here. I'm probably going to drill and tap them at the makerspace
Don't do
through the
that.
assembly.
I did all that aluminum drilling on the FK1 here on the bench so that I could film it, and there was shards of aluminum in my carpet for the longest time. Yeah,
I already had steel, like little steel slivers. I had to be really careful with that. What I'm planning on doing with this is underneath this workbench, I'm going to get the chair sliding plastic that has the spikes that go in the carpet.
Right, yeah, chair mat.
Yeah, I'm probably going to just do a chair mat all the way around that area, or at least in front of it, so that any chips that come out of the enclosure. So I'm going to have a full enclosure that goes up and around it, and then I have a door that opens, and then any chips that fall will just fall forward. So hopefully none of them will actually fall outside that area.
Right.
And then, so the dust collection will actually be probably where that table is, where that piece of plywood is. I hope to have at least a small shop vac with a cyclone dust collector, and then have a hose running into the enclosure to be able to pick up most of the dust. So that's the plan right now. I just have to find a dust collector, a shop vac that's not like 100 decibels. Like
because they're not quiet. They're not quiet at all.
They're quieter ones. I think I can also build a box with foam padding, and I've seen people making quiet dust shop vac enclosures.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is too, if you're going to use a cyclone, you can get away with not having the big pleated filter in there. You can put the little the baggy filter on it, and then they run quieter too because you're not pulling as hard through the filter.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at right now. I found one on Amazon that's a wall mount one. Of course, I don't know if that's going to transfer, sound through the wall. I'm trying to avoid. Yeah, well, that's why I have carpet sliders on that thing, so I can actually slide the table. I'm going to have the sound deadening behind it, and then when I build the enclosure, I'm looking at not Dynamat because that's expensive, but the Chinese knockoff stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, card audio deadening mat inside the enclosure, just to deaden it in the enclosure, and then sound deadening on that wall. So I'm basically double sound deadening as much as I can, and then anything else, it's like I still hear their subwoofer from their sound system. So it's basically just going to be a noise off. Who can make the most noise? And then our neighbors above us have a kid that stomps on the ceiling. So I mean, whatever. I actually at that point I don't really care. It's
apartment life,
musical apartments.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is I don't have appliances that break, and I don't have to mow my lawn, and that's the little trade-off for not having a garage space. But someday I'll have one. Actually, I considered
this thing's gonna be done.
Oh. Let's see how many paychecks I got left. No, I'm just kidding. I think I have most of my stuff, and I've only been collecting this for about a month. The Dogecoin thing helped a lot. That was half of it, and then the other half was just a little. Every once in a while, I'd buy a part. Let's see.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Dogecoin thing's not helping me at all right now.
Yeah. That's why I sold out, and that's why I'm only putting a little bit in just to have some. Maybe I don't know. Probably by the end of the summer. That's what I'm thinking. I'll probably have my first cut probably within maybe 2 or 3 months. I think building the basically getting it running to the point where I can cut, and then building the enclosure. The enclosure will probably take me a week or so. A week or so if I have a good plan.
What are you building the enclosure out of?
If plywood doesn't become reasonable in the next couple of months, I'm probably just going to use hardboard with a 2x4 frame, or 1x. Is it 1x2? 1x2 wood. I think you can buy.
Yeah, you can get 1x2s, 2x2.
Yeah,
2x3.
What was that?
That'd be expensive.
You think so?
Ooh, yeah.
Out of what?
Acrylic.
Well, the front door is going to be a piece of polycarbonate. I think I can probably get a reasonable piece of 4x2 acrylic. and make that my front door part. I wanted instead of like most of them are two that fold out this way. I kind of want to do one that's like a car door hatch where it has struts and just
Put gas
lifts up.
struts on it.
Some gullwing doors.
Well, yeah, you see that I have my that's my bathroom door there, and so I don't want it to like collide with that. So I need to figure out a way that I'm going to. But
you got to make it where it like flips up and then goes onto the sides. You know.
Yeah. Well, I thought about like drawer slides. I thought about doing a lot of this stuff with 3D printing, like make really hefty like hinges that are sliding hinges that can open and push in, or something like that.
Curved, you could get that curved track so it just slides up
like a
roll top desk. Yeah.
Yeah, I've considered that too. That's actually a reasonable thing I could do. I just have to figure out the geometry. So I have to probably model this whole thing in Fusion before I even build it, so that I don't mess up any cuts or anything. But yeah, that's how I did this. Was like I just measured from their kit dimensions, and then had Home Depot cut all the wood for me. And I got most of it, and then everything that wasn't cut, I went to the makerspace and took one piece at a time and cut with their miter saw, and came back. So, and then I'm using my mom's car as a Kia Soul, so I can only fit so much in that car. So all of the wood for that fit in her car, and then I had to take it to the makerspace, cut stuff. Even the steel parts, I had to take 5 foot long, steel sections, put it in their car, take it out, grind it, cut it. Our makerspace also has a ramp, so I could just drive the car up to the ramp and then pull the material out. Cool. Yeah, our makerspace is pretty awesome. I wish more people could see it. It's kind of one of those like, organically grown things where it depends on the location.
Yeah. Is it open on Sundays? Can you get in there on Sundays?
It's 24-hour access.
So maybe we'll set that up one week where you can go there and do like a live feed from the makerspace.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to do that.
That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah. There are some paranoid people, so I'd probably just try to avoid people's faces, but like.
Yeah, no, that'd be fine.
Give you a tour.
I mean, like you don't have to be like, oh, here it is, but I mean, you can take
this man's wanted for murder.
Yeah, you can take it section by section.
They actually have a streaming cart there that you can roll around, and they use it for classes because with COVID they had to make accommodations for online classes and stuff. They still do, and honestly, like online classes are easier because like most of the thing is software. And so, like, I don't want to have to teach a software class in person. Like, I would rather you just learn the software first and then come to the class, and then they'll show you how to use the machine. Kind of like the CNC classes. It's one of the things I'm going to be teaching. But yeah, I mean, we're all unpaid volunteers. It's just kind of like whenever you have time. So, but yeah, no, I could totally do it. And we have really good internet access there, and it's really well lit. So, I'd probably be better off at streaming there.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so we'll have to figure out when, and then we can promote it for a few weeks before we do it.
Yeah, cool.
So
I want to see the garage. Let's do a garage stream.
Yeah, that's on Fun King Garage.
You try to separate the two?
Yeah, I really am trying to keep them separated, but keep them separated. But yeah. That the garage tour video will come eventually. Like
once you hide everything.
What's that?
Once you clean it all up and hide everything.
No, I was gonna do that. Like way back when I first started the whole concept of this channel, I was thinking, man, I need to get that garage cleaned up. And then I thought, well, that's stupid because that's not me. So. I mean, no different than this lovely studio I'm in, and I still wing the camera around and show all the junk that's just outside of view. But
I have to keep mine clean, or else I would run out of space. That's
and that's I was gonna say it's in your house. I mean, this is in my house too, but the garage isn't in my house, so there's just crap everywhere. And it is actually like it is being cleaned, but not because I need to have it clean for the YouTube channel, but because I need to have it clean.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous the amount of space that I have versus the amount of space that I was working in. Like there was just no reason for that. So, and then for those who don't know, my truck did finally completely bite the dust. The motor is toast.
You're not gonna do a swap?
Yeah, so it's going to get a Cummins swap, but
Oh, nice.
I have to get it into the garage and start tearing it down. But once it goes into the garage, it will not leave the garage until that project is done because it weighs so much. You can't just like roll it out and put it back in afterwards. And it's going to be, I originally, like the numbers I had seen were $12,000. So I figured 15, and now looking at prices on stuff, I'm thinking it's probably going to be closer to 20 grand. So
you better sell that Corvette.
Well, and that's going to be the first big chunk of it. Yeah.
We just got pictures done. So
yeah.
that's the first step.
Sean took pictures yesterday.
Are you going to buy a new crate, or are you going to buy like a used one and rebuild it?
No, I'm actually going to buy a Dodge truck.
Oh, I see.
Because I need the motor, the ECU, and the wiring harness out of it, and then like just little bits and pieces. So I'm going to buy a Dodge truck. I've been watching the crash auctions, but they're selling for as much in the auction as I can just go buy one off of Facebook.
Yeah.
Like one that's running and driving and not crashed. So.
Yeah, you're probably getting just as questionable of stuff from Facebook Marketplace as well. So.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the thing is right now I have 0 pickup trucks.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, not really. Actually, I have 2, but neither one of them is currently running.
Yeah.
Well, no, I have 3. I have Daisy does
Daisy.
count. So I have 3 pickup trucks, none of which are running. But 24/7 Hinky said, "Are you not famous for not finishing things?" Yeah, but the truck has to be finished. I need that truck. So, but one of the things that I ran into with the Cummins engines, they spin a much slower RPM. Like their power band is at a much lower RPM. My truck has a 488 rear end in it, so it already like doing 80 miles an hour down the highway. It's like 3,000 RPMs. So I'm actually going to do a gear vendor gearbox on it, which gives you an overdrive for every gear. So you have a first over, second over, like this, and it will be the equivalent of driving on a 373 rear end. I'll get about 20 miles to the gallon out of that thing.
That's pretty good.
Oh, look, David Randolph slid in and said, "Who are these weird people? No Canadians today." The Canadian was here momentarily, but no, he is out on a mission, and so he was mobile.
Yeah,
and
I've been to Vancouver once, so I guess I count.
Yeah, I'm from Detroit, so that's pretty close enough.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
I've been to Canada about 5 times, so
close enough.
I mean, I have friends who are Canadians. Doesn't that like lump me in?
Yeah, I guess so. We could.
So I'll tell a funny story. So my mom and my sister, my middle sister, used to live in New Hampshire, and I was up there on vacation, and so to have something to do, one day my sister decides that we're going to drive to Canada from we were in Manchester, New Hampshire at that point. And so we're going to drive to Canada. I'm like, "Why do you want to go to Canada?" And she goes, "Well, I've been studying Spanish, and I heard they speak Spanish up there." And I'm like, I don't think that's true. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I heard that's true." Now, my sister, like, I'm nutty, but my sister's really nutty. So if you're watching right now, love you. So we drive all the way to the border. We get to the border, and like when you're going into Canada, the border people are Canadians, and when you're coming home, they're Americans.
Yeah.
And so we pull up, and the woman starts speaking in French, and my sister looks over at me, and she goes, "That's not Spanish." And then the lady immediately, like, her demeanor changes, and she's like, "Welcome to Canada. What's your purpose on being here?" And then she said, "Are you bringing anything into Canada that you don't intend to take home with you when you leave?" And I said, "Well, yes, we did eat Taco Bell on the way up, so I may have to find a restroom." That did not go well.
Oh boy.
Border Patrol has 0 sense of humor, just so you guys know.
They don't.
So.
Yeah, I've only been through the airport, and the customs it's pretty interesting. You just basically answer everything on the kiosk, talk to somebody, wait in line, talk to somebody for like 5 seconds, and then yeah.
Well, coming back into the States one time, the on the American side, he said he goes, something along the lines, are you bringing explosives, bombs, blah, 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 into the country? And I looked at him, I'm like, why would I bring that into my own country? And he's like, I gotcha.
Why would I bring that into my own country?
So Ollie said, you have 3 trucks that aren't working, so you're buying one more that's not working? No, I'm going to buy one more that is working, and then I'm going to make it not working so I can make my other truck working. So,
all right,
follow along, Ollie. Come on.
Are you going to get rid of your other trucks?
Okay, so one of my trucks, let's see, how do we do this? I have my Ford F450 dually, which is my main truck. That's the one that just recently pooped out, and I'm going to take a 2005, maybe a 2006 Dodge with a Cummins diesel in it, and I'm going to rip the Cummins out of it and put it into my Ford truck, which sounds amazing, like holy cow! But there's a kit for it. There's people who have done a bunch of research and made it a lot easier. Still a lot of hands-on. Probably is going to take 6 months, but whatever. So then I have a 1992 Chevy Silverado that I bought new in 1992, and the paint started to flake off of it. I took it to the body shop to get it repainted, and it turned into a escalating project that has now been like 25 years in the making. I took that truck off the road with 130,000 miles on it, and I started to redo everything, but I always promised that I would never do anything halfway on that truck. Everything has to be top notch. So then the third pickup truck is the one that I bought that's lightly damaged.
Yeah, I'd say
slightly dented.
A little scratch on the side.
It's the one that got hit by the excavator, and the whole entire front end of it's just it's glorious. I wish I had a picture available real quick for it, but it would take me a while to find it now. But that truck has a 454 big block in it. But it is the same truck as my 92, so I'm going to be transplanting the 454 out of one and into the 92. So it will literally out of one and into the other. Same body, same blah, blah, blah. So that will be glorious. And then that truck will get scrapped, and then I'll be down to, well, it depends on when it happens.
Right.
Because the Dodge truck will also get parted out to help recover some of the costs of the Dodge truck. Hopefully enough that the motor ends up free would be great, or even half price, whatever. So
I'll just get an electric pickup truck whenever they become viable. It's
funny because GM is talking about releasing a kit that is a direct bolt-in for anything with a small block Chevy in it.
I'm down for that. I would love to do that.
You can just bolt an electric. I would totally do that. I think I would like to do that in an S10 though.
Yeah,
get a 4.3 liter S10 and then bolt because it's the same block. It's just 6-cylinder instead of 8. So you just bolt that electric motor into an S10. Talk about 0 to 60 in like a second and a half.
I would take an SSR or a El Camino. That'd be cool, like a car truck.
Oh, El Camino. That's Spanish for the Camino.
The Camino.
The Camino. Well, what was Ford's was the Ranchero, right?
Yes.
That was the Ranchero.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually the Ranchero came before the El Camino. Chevy copied the Ranchero for the El Camino, and yet everybody knows the El Camino and barely anybody knows the Ranchero.
Well, then they started selling them at Taco Bell for a little while.
Free truck with any purchase.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Subaru has the Baja, which I haven't seen those in a while. Like, I guess nobody really caught on to the truck car thing.
No.
Well, Honda Ridgeline, and now it's either
okay. Is the Honda Ridgeline a truck or a SUV truck?
It's a car. If the body and if the bed and the cab are not separate, it is not a truck.
You're the only one that agrees with me on that one. Like, I've talked to people about this and gotten arguments about
flexibility
it.
So, Andy is ducking out. He said, "I'm so sorry, but I have to go." Thank you for a great show. Thank you for being here, Andy. It is greatly appreciated. Mark said that I'm famous for poking the bear. I don't know what that means, but yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, we just insulted everybody with a Honda Ridgeline. Apparently.
So, well, whatever. Everybody's entitled to an opinion.
But I got a Honda Ridgeline.
But it's either Hyundai or Kia. Pretty much the same thing. They're doing one now.
Oh, that'd be cool. Actually,
they're doing a pickup truck.
Yeah.
It's a car with a big trunk with no lid is really what it is. That's as long as we're talking about things that grind your gears. These trucks that have these 4-foot beds on the back, if you drive a pickup truck with a 4-foot bed, you don't drive a pickup truck. I'm sorry.
Right.
I mean, like, you can't put a kayak back there.
No, you can't put anything back there.
No, it's great for taking a bag of trash down to the dumpster.
Sure.
That's what that truck
Well, you say that, but I would be hanging that. I wouldn't have to cut the 4x8 plywood down to get it in. Well, I guess you still would.
Yeah, unless you're buying a sheet of
that
plywood.
That thing would be hanging off the back and be bouncing with this.
A short bed pickup truck is only 6.5 feet. You can put a 4x8 sheet of plywood in there if you leave the tailgate
and hang over.
Right. But like my truck is an 8-foot truck, 8-foot bed. So if I put my tailgate down, I get like 9.5 feet. But if you have one of those 4-foot truck beds,
right,
that is, you just don't even buy a truck. Just don't do it.
It's for people that do like bags of sand and stuff that they need the transporter. So I mean, I don't know. I could see the use of it, especially an apartment. Again, I don't have a place. I mean, their parking garage is full of trucks, and you can barely.
No, I was
squeeze
really
in.
just.
I mean,
I was trying to poke the bear.
You might as well just put a bed on a smart car.
I would be fine with that. And honestly, I looked at a Mini Cooper, a trailer for a Mini Cooper, like one of those lightweight.
I want a smart car to put in the back of my truck,
and then have like ramps that comes down, and
you could do that.
It'll fit in there.
Oh, yeah.
I've already measured it. I just want to drive around with it in the back. It'll handle the weight.
Yeah.
I mean, not right now because it doesn't drive at all.
Yeah.
It would just sit in the yard with a smart car in it.
Actually, you could have the smart car tow the truck.
Yeah, something needs to tow that truck.
Yeah.
The grass
that
underneath
little 1 liter. That
It'd
little.
be like dog sledding. You need like 20 smart cars.
Takes up 2 lanes, and then you gotta like block off 2 lanes. That's amazing.
That truck is 9,000 pounds dry.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah, you're just going to move it around the yard very easily. Now it will start and it will move. I don't know for how much longer or how many times, but if you were to take a handful of silverware and throw it into a dryer and turn it on, that's what it sounds like when I start that thing.
That's probably what's actually happening. Right?
There's just some silverware down in one of the cylinders.
Yeah.
So
is it actually a busted cylinder? Like, is it completely like the?
I don't know. If you've never had the pleasure of looking under the hood of a 6.4 liter Ford, pretty much you can't see anything
because it's just all cables and wires.
It is so crammed. You have to take the cab off to do anything to it.
It's tall. It's like
half of the motor is under the dashboard.
Wow.
So, but again, I want to. How is this segment not sponsored by Zima? I totally I totally want to get it into the garage and tear it down and find out what happened, because it'll be funny if it just turns out to be like a loose bolt or something. But
I just want to see more than one video from your project channel. So
yeah, no doubt.
We'll get there.
Yeah, why you got to bring up such touchy subjects? You know what?
Okay.
I'm done with you. Thank you, Robbie Mack, for the $5. It is greatly appreciated. And just because Mark has been up there for so long, we're gonna bump him out.
Honestly, if you can find Zima, I will drink one on the air. Because
I would not, because it's alcoholic, and I don't.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zima. Never mind. Yeah. After the show, we're gonna have an after show, right?
And after Zima.
Yeah, I've completely lost my train of thought now.
Emphysema.
But no, I want to pull the truck in. I want to start tearing into it to see what's wrong with it. The issue with that is to tear into it, I got to take the body off of the frame. And again, once it goes into that garage, it's a one-way trip. So I have to see how's the easiest way to explain this. I have 2 bays to work in. We won't even consider the rest of the garage. I have 2 bays to work in. They're 20 feet wide, 40 feet deep. So I have 40 by 40 area. Half of that has the lift in it. So it has to go into the lift bay so the body can come off. And then I have to work the chassis over into the other bay, which is where it will live for its life until it goes back over to get the cab put back on it. I think that's the easiest way to put it. All of this will be fine and dandy when the Corvette sells, because where the Corvette lives, I can then put the body of the truck in that bay. But as of right now, I don't want to tie up the lift bay because I use that bay weekly. So yeah,
I'm gonna duck out.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Take your mic off so that you don't go down and like pee with the mic on.
Darn, he knew my plan.
Yeah. We'll hear the after show.
And be like, what is that sound?
He knew my plan.
Well, thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for having me.
I mean, you couldn't hang out for 35 more minutes. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Now I'm stuck just talking.
I have to do a 1.0 and then.
It's good seeing you, Sean.
Good seeing you too, Mitch.
Talk
Bye,
to you
everybody. I don't even know who's in here anymore. Bye,
Everybody.
Bye.
Nope,
We're down to
viewership just went
91,
down.
Mitch, I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna pick your brain on CNC stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, maybe
I
I'll
got
get
like
you
a little
convinced.
tiny one as big as this box that I'm gonna be working with.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Don't know.
I'd like to see that.
It's a CNC for ants.
To CNC for ants. Unfortunately, it's not all there.
The Shureline's the only one I know of that would be like close.
It's
to
like
that.
a Sane Smart.
It's one of those. It's one of those
It's like
AliExpress specials.
Yeah, it's like $100.
I just sold
CNC
mine.
based on.
Yeah.
The spindle is a like a Mabushi 540 RC
Yeah,
car motor.
it's a
That's
540,
exactly
yeah.
what it is.
Ugh.
Yep.
I sold mine because I was like, I'm not going to really do much with it, but it's fun to learn. It's definitely a good way to start learning how to do CNC stuff.
Well, and I think for what he's going to use it for, I think it's a good spot to start.
Yeah, like knife handles, you could probably do some wood stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know about composites, but maybe.
definitely not.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I destroy it.
We'll strap my laminate router to it.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. Is the one I had, it was a 500, yeah, the one I had it was like a 500 watt spindle, and the whole thing shook because that spindle wasn't balanced. So, yeah,
I'm so nervous right now.
yeah. Even those I would still put an enclosure around it because chips will just get everywhere.
I traded a Moai for it, so
Oh, well, that's not a loss.
either way.
Well, actually, I say that, but yeah, I gave away my Moai too, so
See,
it's gonna go to a good home.
that's good.
Yeah.
Mine will probably never get used by the guy I gave it to.
Yeah.
Probably not.
He'll just go in the basement with all of his other stuff.
Yeah, it's sad because those Moais were good. I just don't know anybody that uses them.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I
no,
know.
yeah.
I know.
But anyway, that's me signing off. Bye.
Bye. There we go.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, now we can talk about him now that he's gone.
Okay.
Oh wait, he's not gone yet.
It would be fun to actually just have Sean and James on next week and just
Well,
we'll take a break.
I'm kind of glad I didn't because of the technical difficulties we had.
Yeah.
But I was gonna have Sean start the stream today. Like I was just gonna be off camera
Just be off
and have
camera.
him start it where it was like just him by himself. But instead,
been
we had
fun.
the train wreck that we had. That was fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Now that you brought up, the sensitive topic of, my videos not getting done on Fun King Garage.
Yeah.
Now my feelings are all
Trust me, I know. Honestly, I only was motivated because I want to document this CNC machine, and honestly, it's so hard to make a video. I'm getting back in now that I'm doing this incrementally. I have the B-roll footage and stuff, and now I'm just sitting down and just doing a video. Like today is Saturday, I'm going to spend a couple hours and just upload anything I have and just make it work. And that's been consistently good enough to even if it's like how to change a spark plug on a, even if it's like a single video.
So a couple things, and I can't really go into super detail, but a couple of things a couple things changed for that channel. For those of you who have seen the video and the trailer over there, you'll understand real quick. For those of you who haven't seen it, you need to go check it out. YouTube.com/Fun King Garage. Sean did a magnificent job. It is TV level production, but that in lies the problem. It is TV level production. It takes so long to film stuff like that. You have to do things, 3, 4, 5 times to get different camera angles to make the cool effects. But there's things that we do in the garage that you can't do 3, 4, 5 times. You can only do it one time.
Yeah.
So like that created some problems. So through some advice of some people who are in the know, we were told to film it more like reality TV. So equipment is changing. It'll be done all through GoPros. I even have one. I get to wear one on my forehead, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, I can do this. Stick one to here and then.
Yeah, well, I mean, like when you're working under the hood of a car, what better place to have it than exactly where you're looking?
Yeah.
So it makes sense. So we've been purchasing GoPros and stuff, but really the big thing right now is, well, 2 big things. One, Sean's knife company is getting ready to launch their website, and so he's been cranking out knives to have inventory, plus filling the orders that he has. So that's been taking a lot of time and getting set up. And keep in mind, I've given him a decent amount of space, but it's not enough space for what he's doing. So that's the first big problem. The second big problem, it is 5 million degrees outside.
It's like that right now.
It is so bloody hot outside.
And it's like 60% humidity at 100 degrees.
Like 90% humidity.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
so we got it easy.
it's about 35 feet. When I walk out my back door, it's about 35 feet to the door of the garage. By the time I get there, I'm so soaked I need to change my t-shirt already. So it's horribly hot right now. So we're trying to make do. We're trying to make arrangements. The space that Sean works in eventually actually will be walled off with air conditioning because it's where my wood shop is supposed to be. But I can't even afford to go buy the 2x4s to do it. And even if I could afford to buy the 2x4s, it seems so stupid to pay $8 for a 2x4. So
I mean, I did it, but I didn't have to build a big structure.
Yeah, I need to buy like 600 of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of the problem. So
steel is actually more reasonable than wood. You might be better if built like welding a steel structure.
Because of the way that I'm doing it, it wouldn't work. So, but I mean, we're looking at like porticools and that kind of stuff to try to come up with a way to make it tolerable. But it's coming. I'm going to mess your name up. Is it Callum? Either which way, welcome. But yeah, either way, things are gonna change a little bit. It's not gonna be so TV like, which is it's good for some reasons and bad for others. Like it was really cool and the feedback was amazing and everybody was like so excited. And thank you, David, for the $9.99.
Okay, I was actually looking at Purple Ice, and I was trying to see how close the Green Gate Purple Rain is to Purple Ice because I need both.
You should just order one of each and compare them.
I should. So actually how this works is that the motor mounts are printed with PETG because they have the heat resistance, but then they print PLA for all the bearing mounts because PLA is stiffer than PETG. So I need 2 colors that are closely slightly matched of purple, which is hard to match by itself.
Yeah, that you're going to have to do like purple and black or,
Yeah, or color tones, yeah.
So.
Yeah, I need to try Jesse. I am a terrible person, and I have not had a roll of Jesse filament yet. So.
Well, I'm a terrible person, and I have a huge stack of it over here, and I don't print enough to go through it all. So. but I don't think I have purple.
Yeah, I mean, I usually recommend to anybody anyway to just buy a US made filament, like IC3D.
No, I don't have any purple. All I have is like 500 rolls of green for some reason.
Oh,
no,
not even your color. It's weird.
No, I'm kidding, because they come in the Jesse box every month, and apparently somebody crabbed that there was too much green, and it's like I've gotten every Jesse box, and there's only like 3 greens, but no, that was just a dig.
Yeah, I have some filament left. Oh, I did the so my friend Shank, he's a Game Boy or a Nintendo modder, and he makes portable versions of the Wii. And he made a Virtual Boy portable. And so I helped him make the case for the Virtual Boy portable with my palette. And so he featured me in the video. So I've been getting a bunch of subscribers from that and like followers and stuff. But cool. if you get a chance to check it out, it's Shank Mods, SHANK Mods, and he does the Virtual Boy portable. He also was the one that did the GameCube Joy-Cons for the Switch. He made custom Joy-Cons that are GameCube controllers. Yeah, he all his videos get like millions of views, and I've known him for a while, and so it was good to be out.
I don't even know how those people deal with that.
Yeah.
I mean, who would want millions of views on their videos?
He also helped me with this. This is a Virtual Boy. I mean, this is a Nintendo Wii. Oops, battery's probably dead. Anyway, it's called the G Boy, and essentially it has a full. Let's see if I can open it without breaking it. It has there we go. That's a Nintendo Wii motherboard that's trimmed down to just the CPU and GPU, and then I hand wire a bunch of magnet wire to all the video and power signals to custom PCBs inside there, and it runs off of 18650. So it's the size of an original Game Boy, but it's a fully featured Nintendo Wii.
That is really cool.
Out of a portable. Yeah, and they sold it as a kit. And so you just bring your own. You take apart a Nintendo Wii, take the motherboard, trim it with a Dremel tool, and then you have to solder to tiny little vias that are like 0.5 millimeter.
Oh yeah,
it's super tedious, and then you can, and then they have a soft mod that lets you apply your own ISO files from GameCube and Wii games, and you can play GameCube and Wii games on it, and it works just like a Game Boy.
That is really cool.
So he helped do a lot of the reverse engineering of the Wii motherboard, and with his community Bit Builds. And so I've met a lot of people from that community, and then he builds his own portables and mods as well. So the Virtual Boy portable was kind of his his latest thing, and that was, it took a lot of work to get that to work, because you have to interpret the LED signal into a VGA signal, because it was actually red LEDs that had little mirrors in them, and that's why they flickered when you looked in the Virtual Boy. It was actually like 2 LED arrays that had mirrors inside of it, and it had like stereoscopic 3D. So he did it in 2D. So it's actually just taking one of the eyes, translating into VGA, and then it goes to a modern IPS screen. And then he had to make his own microcontroller shift register that interpreted all the signals from the controller to the shift register that goes to the motherboard of the Virtual Boy, and then do his own power management system. And he made like 7 or 9 custom PCBs just to fit it inside the case. And then I worked with him on making a red, black, and gray colored case that was all printed with the Mosaic palette, and all he had to do was sand it and polish it, the PLA, and he didn't have to do any painting other than the logo.
Cool.
Yeah, and so we went through like 6 kilograms of filament just to get that to work, because all the purge block, every time I did a print, I wasted half of it was purge block.
Of course, yeah.
So we have a ton of filament that I went through, and also using Canvas, the online Canvas slicer for the Mosaic, was kind of painful. And I wish I would have transitioned to the P2PP, which is like polyprinter that polyprinter, Prusa. It was like Prusa slicer for the Mosaic palette. Is what I think it is. It's like some plugin that makes it work with the palette. But I used all Mosaic's, like their slicer software and the Mosaic, and had to figure out how to calibrate it and all that stuff. And so now I'm never going to use the palette again, probably. So
yeah, I still haven't hooked up that one that I got from you.
I know. You probably should at least try, like, at least, you know what it's really useful is for for splicing old filament into one roll.
Well, and again, the reason that I wanted it was so that I don't have to get big rolls of filament, because not every color is available in big rolls. I can just buy multiple rolls of the same and print big things.
So in that case, you don't have to calibrate it at all if you do that.
Yeah, so. David said to order 2 of his rolls of Jesse just to make sure that it's the right color.
I was going to do 3 because of free shipping for $45. Unless you can come up with the 2.3 kilogram spools, then I'll buy 2 of those. They were out of stock, it looks like.
But he also said, wait till you see this month's box. The letter is pure gold. And for those of you who were tuning in the last time when I did the live opening of the Jesse box here on the stream, that letter made me crack up so much. So maybe I should stop reading the letters online, because it's like giving away the gold. I mean, that's the only reason that I keep I have so much filament stocked up. I don't need more filament, but I keep buying the box just for the letter.
I just buy it because I want the really expensive airheads. That's what it is. That's why I order from.
Yeah, well, you order the airheads and you get filament for free.
Yeah, you get filament for free.
That's right. It's a great deal. So, but
I'm not really in the subscription boxes, but it's cool to see.
I love the unknown. It's why I was always a fan of like the Maker box, which
there's still a Maker box, right? Like those still come, right? Yeah, is that this month?
Yeah, that's the most current one, and my mailman apparently sat on it. It's like squishy. So yeah, Zach and I still have to film that, but no, I'm a huge fan of that because you don't know what's inside. And it's the same thing with the Jesse box. You don't know what you're going to get until you get it, and that's so.
Well, those are usable amounts of filament, right? Like
the Jesse box is 2 full kilo rolls.
Okay, that's not bad. These
are sample, but I mean, even these they're usable size. I mean, you're not going to do a massive project, but I always get the Explorer box because it's not just PLAs and stuff. It's more engineering filaments, but. David said, "No, read the letter. I get enjoyment in watching you laugh." So now it's going to be like this constant challenge for Dave to outdo himself to see if he can get me to wet myself while I'm on stream.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I like specialty color filaments, but there's a lot of like 90% of the things I just want one color, and so it's like I hate not having, the specific color I want, because I usually just have like half rolls, and then I'm like, now I gotta get the same batch of that same color.
Well, pretty much everything that I print is either Fun King Yellow PETG, or black PETG.
Yeah.
So, and in fact, as an update, and I wish I would have had a picture ready. Maybe I can find one. Back I'm going to say a few weeks ago. It's been a little while now. But here on the stream, I was printing parts for my turtle tank, and I had printed out some drain grates and a template for mounting them, and I actually installed those yesterday into the tank. And give me just a second to see if I can find the picture. Just so that those who don't know what I'm talking about will know what I'm talking about. But
while he's looking for that, I'm going to show you another thing I did. I did a commission for somebody that needed I guess they have a truck or car, and they have like light pipes for the radio or something, or dashboard. So it's these like little light pipes they're just made out of like green plastic, and they want to have blue light, so the blue light gets blocked by the green color plastic. So I went in Fusion and modeled it up, and I got like almost dead close to like an exact replicate
Very cool
of it. And I did this with Elegoo Mars, or not the Elegoo Mars, the $100 printer I have, but I used Elegoo ABS like transparent, and it's almost crystalline. Obviously, you got a little bit of fuzziness because of
but you're never going to know that when the light comes through it.
Yeah, so I don't have a blue LED that is just standalone. I have to find it, but I'm gonna give it to him Monday, and I'm gonna see if these work. But like it's that's what's cool about stuff like that, where you just like within an hour, I'm able to just reproduce some injection molded part that was like made like in the millions, but like you can't find anymore, or it's impractical, or you can't find the color.
Find it not green.
Yeah, exactly. So without going through like the hassle of silicon mold and casting and stuff like that, which I might do eventually too. So what? So this is for what again?
This is for my turtle tank. This is it's a 240-gallon aquarium.
That's massive.
Oh yes. Well, the turtle is big. She's about a foot across. So
is that so? They swim in the water, or is it dry?
Yeah, it's an aquatic turtle. It's a red ear slider. She's an aquatic turtle. It's not a tortoise. Is a dry turtle, and then a turtle is aquatic. But right now she's living in a 55-gallon tank because she ate the silicone out of her 75-gallon tank. Oh. And when I transferred her over and I went to put the other tank together, I found there was a big crack in the glass.
Oh, no.
So I went out and bought this one. But I took the factory weirs out of it. This is ABS sheet that I cut and formed to fit the corners. This is where the overflow will be. But when I put them in, I thought I wanted it this deep, and then I realized that it would be too deep. I wouldn't be able to see her when she's up on her basking area, like when she climbs up out of the water. So what I did was I modeled up these grates, and then I modeled another one that didn't have the grates in it. It was just the outside of it. And so I used that to drill the holes and screwed it on, drilled a hole in the middle, and I took a laminate router and a flush cut bit and cut around, used the 3D print as a template to cut the hole in the ABS. And it worked phenomenally. Now, if you run the router too slow, the bearing gets hot and it'll melt the
plastic. Yeah.
It'll melt the template. But it cut so quick because this is only like 1/8-inch material, so it cut through it so quick, and it was so clean. And then I bolted the grill on. Now there's two of these. There's one on each end of the tank in each back corner. But here's the thing. And I was telling Sean this yesterday. 3D printing has ruined me for making things.
It's true.
I made the template and 2 grates, and all 3 pieces, the holes lined up perfectly. And it didn't matter if it went on like this or this. Now, back in the day, I would have hand cut that, and I would have hand drilled that.
It would have been off.
And all 3 of them would have been different. But because of 3D printing, all 3 of those are exactly the same.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just an amazing technology for stuff like that.
Yeah. But I mean, even to the point where, like, even when I'm going to have a CNC router available, and yes, I could probably make those grates out of ABS, sheets or whatever, but it would take me longer to program the toolpaths for that than to run a slicer and just print it.
Right.
Yeah. So,
but it's funny because now when I go to cut a 2x4, like I'll put it up on my chop saw, and like I'll bring the blade down to the tape measure, and I will literally move that thing 1/4 of a millimeter to make sure it's precise.
Yeah,
it's a 2x4. It doesn't need to be that precise.
Yeah, that's what I did with the steel on this thing. Like, even though it doesn't have to be precise, I'm like tape measure, getting it within like on the line of the millimeter mark just to get it like accurate enough. Yeah,
that's what 3D printing has done to me. It's ruined me.
I do like wood though, because like building the workbench and just working with wood I never really worked with wood, but now I'm working with wood. I'm like, wow, this is so much more forgiving than anything else I've ever done.
Oh, like, absolutely.
You could literally be like 1/8 or 1/4 inch off, and you just shove some shim in there and like screw it in. It all kind of just warps itself in place. And
Yep, absolutely.
like, not that woodworkers aren't talented, because there's some really
Oh no,
talented.
when you're building like fine furniture, that's a whole different ball game. But even then,
those people are amazing.
Yeah, even then, like you don't have to be so precise.
Yeah,
you can sand it precise when you're done, or
you
route
can sand
it,
or fill it like wood filler, or you can change dimensions. But it's like I actually would probably make, if I do any woodworking stuff, I probably would do it in Fusion 360 first, just to try it, and then make it out of wood, because
I CAD a lot of the stuff that I build. Like even, okay, so the walls that I'm gonna put in the big garage when I build all my divider walls and stuff, I've done CAD on all of that. And the main reason for that is not because like I don't need to do it to know what material I need and how big to cut it. I know how to build a wall. It's so that I can visualize it to know, and then look and go, oh, that's a terrible place to put that door. The door is going to hit this cabinet or whatever. It just lets you have a visualization of it before you actually spend the money to build it. Hello, Ben DH. Excited that the stream has been caught. Well, we're excited to have you here. I mean, we're excited that anybody's here watching this garbage, but
Oh, I wanted to shout out, I think it just happened. I got 500 subscribers on YouTube.
Sweet, congratulations!
Yeah,
that is awesome.
It only took me 4 years, 5 years.
But I mean, not everybody can be me, and
I know.
and have the Joel effect laid upon you more than once.
The trademark Joel effect.
Yes.
I don't even want Joe to shout me out, but if he does, I mean, that'd be cool. I feel that. Well, that's why I got like Shank's video is what got me most of my the last 50 subscribers or so. But it's just it's so cool to collaborate with other YouTubers like this.
Well,
right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, collaboration is a huge thing, and I love collaborating with other makers and stuff. My problem is I'm so uncreative when it comes to coming up with an idea that two people.
Oh, yeah.
I have worked alone on projects for so long that it's hard for me to try to figure out how to do a project with two people. Even now that I have Sean here on property, as my pool boy. I don't even have a pool. But I'll be doing something. He'll be like, "Why didn't you come get me?" And I'm like, "Because I'm just used to doing stuff." I'll be moving something heavy, and he'll come out, and I'll have all this rigging and stuff. And he's like, "Why didn't you just come get me?" And I'm like, "Because I don't think about having somebody else." So
but the CNC is going to be my first project that I actually do alone, essentially. BattleBots was a team effort. A lot of the stuff I do is small stuff, but that's the biggest thing I'm going to be able to do by myself. And I'm probably I planned it out so I could do it all by myself. It's just it does help.
I want to look into that.
Yeah,
of course, for $2,500, not to be a CNC machine. I mean, I could always use a CNC machine, but really what I want is a CNC plasma cutter.
I wouldn't do it with this design. Because of the ball screws and the feed rate, you're better off using a belt-driven one that uses
the professional tables actually use a ball screw.
If you're going to use a water table, I would use bellows to cover the ball screw if you're going to do that. But
well, there's a company, and I hate to plug them because it's not a sponsor, but I guess it's not the right channel anyway. But there's a company out there called Langmeyer Systems. Mm-hmm. And they've got a table that, if you go with their small table, I'm going to say it's their base table, but it's still full of features. It's only $2,500, not including the plasma cutter. Plasma cutter sold separately.
Are they talking about the 4x8 or which size?
I want to say it's 2x3.
So their Crossfire looks like it's a 2x2 foot, their cheapest one.
It's pretty small, right?
And that's literally just ball bearings that ride on steel tube.
On tubing, right? Tubing. And then you really want to get the adjustable torch.
Yeah, the auto height control.
The auto height adjustable torch. Yeah, so you're up into a little bit more money.
That's still $2,700, not including and you can get I think now you can get for under $500 you can get a power supply. hand torch.
But if you go and check out reviews and stuff, that is a very capable little table.
I'm just watching the videos.
Capable.
Plasma cutting is like how fast you can go.
Well, then that depends on your plasma cutter.
Yeah.
So, and plus also like how why am I losing that? How tolerances, how tight the tolerances are.
Yeah, because you don't want to, so we have a Dynatorch at the Makerspace. It's a 4x8, and it has a power hypertherm plasma cutter on it. It goes up to 85 amps, which is really awesome. But most of the time I'm doing 65 amp cuts because I'm only doing less than 1/4 inch, like anywhere from 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch sheet. But it has belts, like really heavy duty belts, and it has servo drives and everything. It's pretty cool. It's just like if you go any thinner than like 45 amps, you can turn it on to 15-20, but depending on your nozzle, your consumable, you're going to blow out your material, because if you don't go fast enough, you'll blow out, you'll have a bunch of huge
straws.
Kerf. Your kerf will be wider.
Yeah.
If you don't go fast enough. And then if you go too fast on our machine, it still has a little bit of wobble when it turns the corner because of the acceleration. So you kind of have to balance like your power and your consumables, like your nozzle. And
but now keep in mind, when you're welding things together, the tolerances aren't as fine as things like 3D printing.
But you're not going to get like on the BattleBot where you have laser cut parts from Sins.
No.
So
you're not gonna get that kind of tolerance.
You're kind of in between those two things. Like you can get like a hole, but the hole is going to be like a blown out little blob versus like an actual clean hole.
Right.
So you might as well just mark it. Use the plasma torch to just mark where it's going to be, and then just hand drill it. Right. If you're going to do that, but like if you just want the edges cut into a square, or you want the flanges so you can bend it up like with a bend brake.
Well, and it's also different when you're building something this big versus something, this big.
Yeah. And really, if you're just doing sheet metal, like thin, sheet metal, and you just want something to be a cover, like plasma cutting is perfectly fine.
Yeah. David said the Pro table uses ball screws because it's so heavy and running on belts suck. But then he says he got the Crossfire for fun. It sucks. Avoid it. I'll give you $25 for it, Dave. But
so you talk about the Crossfire XR is the one I'm seeing that has the ball screws, I think.
Yeah. Well, they just recently released like a new, like super big boy, but they're starting to get quite expensive.
Yeah, the Crossfire XR is the one that's the ball screw or lead screw driven, at least. I don't know if it's ball screw, but
yeah, it's probably just lead screw.
But yeah, so the machine I'm building is so ball screws are cool, but they have to be exactly centered. They can't have any skew or they'll bind. And then they have wipers, but you definitely don't want to get like slag or anything on them. So you'd have to cover them, especially water. You don't want water splashing up on the.
And it does. It absolutely sprays everywhere.
You're probably you'd have to have bellows, which are the expanding bellows that cover the entire axis. The Crossfire XR probably looks good. Yeah, I don't know about the smaller table. Their smaller table wouldn't be. I don't know.
Yeah,
probably if you're a home garage and you're just wanting something to cut something.
Yeah. Like I'm obviously not production, but I mean, I have a few ideas for some pretty cool projects that would allow me to make money on the side to help pay for it, and then I would have it for my needs.
Oh, look, they're just talking about Autodesk Fusion 360 CAD CAM. So I guess they're assuming that you're going to use the personal license to make the plasma output.
Right, yeah.
But I don't know. I convinced myself with this the sale. I think there's 20% off now to do a license of the Pro. Because I do want to use it commercially. I want to start doing tool pathing and cutting commercially. Once I get this built, I'm probably first thing I'll probably do is start making V-carve signs out of wood.
So David said, drive up here and I'll give you the Crossfire for $50, but you have to drive here and make a video out of it, which I totally would.
I'd take them up on that offer. That would be awesome. I'd like to see that video.
But I'm not sure what I would transport it in because I don't have a pickup truck.
That picture with the tank, was that a Scion XB behind there?
No, that's Ford Flex.
That's big enough for a plasma cutter table.
Yeah, I don't know. It would have to be disassembled, but
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's the Flex that we drove. We've driven it to Murph and Irf.
Yeah.
In fact, we pulled the trailer with the.
That's a cool car, actually.
It is, except for everything in it's electronic, and now it's having problems.
That's
so
why.
In fact, yesterday, just yesterday, I'm in the Home Depot parking lot, and I go to turn, and the electrical steering assist fails.
Oh no!
Now I don't know if you've ever driven a car that has power steering that like the engine stalls or the belt falls off or whatever, and it gets real hard to turn. Well, this actually like resists you turning.
Oh.
It was everything that I had power wise to get that thing
dangerous.
to turn a corner.
Yeah.
So,
that's
but I shut it
I'm a
off,
little
started
concerned
it back up.
The Tesla's a little concerning about that too. Like the Tesla's gotten too far into like everything's being controlled by the computer.
Everything.
Yeah.
But Marcus said, "Fixed truck, drive truck to printed solid profit." The problem is I need the CNC plasma table to fix the truck.
To fix the truck. So are you talking about like just making brackets, like custom brackets for your motor and stuff? Like that would be the perfect use for a plasma cutter, is like making motor brackets and stuff.
Yeah, making motor mounts and stuff. Yeah. I don't need it for that kind of stuff. It will all come from the conversion kit. But
and honestly, if you don't have a TIG or MIG welder, like a lot of the stuff you make with a plasma is going to be useless. So,
well, yeah, you do have to have some form of welder. But
do you have a bend brake?
A small one, just a small one. But on my short list of wants is the swag press brake that goes in the Harbor Freight 20-ton hydraulic press.
We tried to use one on the BattleBot, but we were trying to bend 1/8-inch titanium and 1/4-inch AR500, and it did not do anything to those. Yeah, we were heating up with a torch. We're like, shh, and then we ran in there and then tried to do it, and then we couldn't even get it to flex at all.
Yeah, I can't imagine that would go well.
Yeah, we had to actually I think they had to cut the titanium and actually weld it at the angle that we wanted because we couldn't bend it.
Which that's not terrible. I mean, it's more welding, but that's not a terrible plan.
Yeah, we don't build a BattleBots with just like garage tools if you can help it. But that's where CAD modeling comes in. It's like,
apparently you've never been in my garage. I could totally build a BattleBot with the garage tools that I have.
I want to see a Fun King 3D BattleBot. If you can get that sponsorship money, go for it.
Maybe that's what I'll do with the old Dodge truck after I take the Cummins out of it. I'll turn that into my BattleBot.
Yeah, that Cummins diesel would probably have 2 or 3 heavyweights worth of weight for it. So
yeah, I was ramping my wife up to get me a TIG welder for Father's Day, and the one that I've picked out is not a top of the line. It's the name escaped me. It doesn't matter. They're not a sponsor. But it actually comes pretty highly recommended by people that really know what they're doing. So I was excited to get it. And then I started to price out what it's going to cost me to run the wire to be able to plug it in. And then I got to go buy a bottle of argon. And it was like, it went from $800 and something to like $1,400. And I'm like, yeah, now's not the time.
Yeah, that's why if I have to run a 220 outlet from here, extension from my oven to this machine, it's gonna add a significant cost to the.
Yeah, copper is crazy expensive. Actually, what you might want to look at is RV extension cords.
That's a 3-prong, and it doesn't include the ground, so I'd have to.
No. You can get a 50 amp. You can get a 50 amp extension. The one you're thinking about is a 30 amp 110.
I'll show you afterwards, but what I found on Amazon is all the RV extension, which would make sense, but I'd have to still convert it from a 4-prong to a 3-prong, and then the ground is separate, unless it comes with a ground or the ground is tied to neutral.
Do you need a 3-prong, or you need it to match the oven?
The oven is a 4-prong, so it's the L1, L2, and neutral and ground.
And ground, right? Yeah. By code, they have to be 4 now. You have to have a neutral and a ground on a 220, unless it's a welder outlet.
But on this, if I want to ground the power supply and the VFD and everything to one,
which you do,
one tie ground, and then that ground I have to put somewhere, either to the 110 ground socket.
No, don't do that.
No, because then I have a ground loop.
Right, run it back to the
I want to run it
220,
back to the. So I'd have to run a three prong and then run a separate ground wire.
But my RV, which was a 50 amp, was four prong.
Okay. So if you have a source for a good extension cord for a 4-prong.
Well, I don't necessarily have a source for it, but you can check out campingworld.com. I'm sure that they'll
specifically for yeah.
Because
Amazon, is Amazon.
I built my own because where my RV was parked was pretty far from the temporary pole, so I built my own. I have 100-foot.
Yeah.
I have 100-foot 6 gauge SEO.
Holy
50
crap!
amp, 220. It was.
I mean, 8 gauge would be enough for what I want to do. 30 amp. So
yeah, well, I wanted to because of the 100 feet. I wanted to make sure it was.
Higher.
But it was like $1,000 to build it, and this was 14 years ago.
Yeah, and I work in a manufacturing plant, so just to get a 4-conductor 4-gauge wire for our 3-phase power, just like a 20-foot run was like $700-800.
Yeah. Cover is so expensive.
It's just ridiculous. Apparently, even now, I think our electrician was even recommending aluminum if it doesn't have to have too many junction points with the right goop and all that stuff. So I don't know, but aluminum still works as long as you're not doing any galvanic corrosion stuff.
Yeah, I ran aluminum from the house to the main feed of the garage. It's
much cheaper, yeah.
Well, because of the distance, it was way cheaper to do aluminum. But I absolutely just caked it in Antioch. So
yeah, I mean, for what I'm doing, I just need a direct connection to something, and then it's temporary because it's a rental, and obviously I'm only gonna run it when I need it. So I can just plug it, unplug it, move the oven, unplug it, put the oven back,
right,
roll up the cord. Stored in my table. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing. I just that's another $250 worth of material just to run a 20-foot.
Does your oven have the drawer underneath it?
It does, so I'm probably going to run it through that.
Yeah, you could just coil it up in there.
Oh, and that's a good idea.
Like unplug the oven and plug
and then
that
put
in.
all my pots and pans, put it all in another place.
Just don't plug the oven back in. You don't need that to cook anyway. Just buy yourself an air fryer if you don't have one.
I've considered an induction cooktop because those are really nice. There you go. I don't need an oven. It's gonna be my it's just for the apartment if they ever come.
You should just take the oven out and put the CNC machine where the oven was.
That's a great idea. There you go.
Then you don't need a long cord.
I've actually considered in my laundry room putting you can buy the Protomax. It's a 12 by 12 inch water jet, and I could run it. It's single phase. It's single phase and it just needs a water hookup. I could run a water jet in my laundry room.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna get to the point where there's gonna be like at least one fire inspector that's gonna come in and like freak out. Like
Probably.
Andy does ammo reloading. Like, how's this person not? I don't do ammo reloading. I wouldn't do it in an apartment.
Well, it is after 6:30.
Yep.
And I need some vittles. I need to go eat. Do you northern people know what vittles are?
I don't even know what vittle is.
It's food.
Oh, okay.
That's
grub in Texas, I guess. Grub.
Yeah, grub. Sure.
Grub.
So, that's the glorious part about Florida.
Fixins.
Florida is a melting pot of everybody, so you get everybody's dialect here. And
Creole, yeah.
So,
I've Taco Bell after Taco Bell hunger, so.
I don't. Do you have anything that you want to directly plug?
Well, thank you for 500 subscribers. I'm happy I've gotten this far. I will continue to post videos about the Print and See. Hopefully you'll see something happen, either good or bad, in the near future. And check out Shank's video, Shank Mods Virtual Boy Portable. It's really fun to watch. He spent a year working on this video, and he's put so much detail and so much hard work into it. Like, it is the coolest thing on YouTube right now, I think.
That's pretty awesome.
So
I don't necessarily have anything to directly plug, so I will say what I say every week, and that is thanks to each and every one of you guys for tuning in. These streams would be senseless without you, and we really do appreciate everybody. We appreciate the interaction and the feedback that we get from you guys. It is a wonderful community that we have here. However, it's a small community, so please start inviting your friends. My ego is really starting to take a hit because the people watching keeps getting smaller. No, but no, we do thank you guys. Keep watch. There is stuff coming. There is stuff coming on Fun King Garage. We're just working through. I'm gonna have 6 months of content of just me working on the Foamans build. So that'll be fun.
I want to see that. I want to see a working truck.
It's
come down to Florida for Orlando Maker Faire.
It's going to be a beast. It will be a beast. I mean, I always joke around that truck could pull the earth in reverse rotation the way it's built now. Well, I mean, not right now because it doesn't run at all. But with that Cummins engine in it and the gearing and stuff that it's going to have, it is going to be magnificent. So, and again, my goal is not to build the biggest and the baddest truck ever with, like huge horsepower and blowing, rolling coal. I want it to be reliable. I want that to be my lifetime truck. So, but Glenn Hoke sliding in right at the end. Thank you for being here, Glenn. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you, guys. And until next week, as always, print on.